is the ultimate travel guide from the people who know it best. Weekends with Yankee.
I'm so excited to be cooking today with one of my favorite chefs, Ana Sortun. Ana has 3 restaurants in Boston that all draw their inspiration from the flavors of the Eastern Mediterranean. So while she's cooking with ingredients like za'atar and halva and labneh, she's also sourcing most of her produce from this very farm in Sudbury, Massachusetts, where the farmer happens to be her husband, Chris. So she is literally married to the farm.
All right, Amy, can I show you the root cellar? One of my favorite spaces on the farm.
So how long here, all the way through the winter?
Deep into the spring even. Here in New England, we can grow, pretty good tomatoes in the summer, but I'm sure you can grow better tomatoes in California. I don't think you can grow better carrots in California than you can here. The deep, hard frost that we get that kind of knock back the greens, sort of caramelized sugars in the roots of the carrots and other fall crops. So the eating quality of a fall carrot is just so different, so much better.
So what are some of the other crops that are better after the cold?
Yeah, let me show you over here. We have some winter radishes.
Look at these colors.
Yeah, the purple daikon here.
Just like such a simple salad if you just very thinly slice this. And
yeah,
with some,
a little mandolin.
Yeah.
And then the star of the show, the watermelon radish, which it technically is a daikon radish. It's a showstopper for your guests. You can slice and dice it, matchstick it up, and
this is so fun. So these are going to get sweeter.
Yeah, kind of like the carrots are bitter in the summer and much sweeter in the fall. Radishes will be spicier in the summer and the early fall, and then the hard frost just kind of mellow out the spiciness and bring in the sweetness.
All right, well, I want to see some of these other vegetables.
Yeah.
So what do we got here?
All right, these are our prized macumber turnips.
Oh yeah, macumbers. They're local, right? They were.
Yeah, they're one of the only vegetables I'm aware of that was bred right here in Massachusetts. Thank you.
Actually, the butternut squash was also.
Oh, that's right, the Waltham butternut. Yeah. So they're sort of a cross between a rutabaga and a turnip.
Look at this one. It's like a Mack truck of turnips.
Nice one.
Ooh, big guy.
We'll bring a bunch of these back for Ana to cook with this afternoon, but let me cut this one open, see how it's looking inside.
Oh, look at that.
Beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful. Do the CSA members get these, or does Ana use up all the macumbers?
Oh, good question. We're growing more and more of them every year because they're so popular. We grow other types of turnips as well, but of course Ana gets first dibs.
Yeah.
But,
how much does she weigh in on what you plant?
Quite a bit over the years. I think our crop plan has been very heavily impacted. Just kind of thinking outside of the box of what a crop is and what parts of it you can use. And,
so bringing that chef's mind to the ingredients and just how to use them. Like maybe people at home, CSA members would not necessarily know how to use these greens, but when you have a chef on call, you can give them some good ideas.
Turnip is a great example of where a little bit of culinary knowledge goes a long way to make something that's kind of bulky and awkward seeming at first become a real treasure in the kitchen.
Well, I know Ana has a really delicious recipe based on these turnips, so why don't we maybe pick a few more and bring them over to her? Chris and I went out in the fields and we found this macumber turnip, and it's a beauty. Yeah, it's really, really pretty. So I wonder what you're going to make with it.
Well, I thought I'd make a version of spin on a latke with a macumber turnip. This is one of my favorite turnips because it's super sweet and juicy.
So you're taking the classic latke with sour cream and applesauce, but you're putting your spin on it.
Exactly.
Well, so show me what you first do with the turnip.
You're basically gonna go around as if it was the globe. You start at the North Pole and you go around the equator to the South Pole. We're just gonna cut it into some manageable size pieces that we can fit in our hand. Grab the large holes of a box grater. And then same with potato too. We're gonna basically do the same thing. We'll peel it and grate it just like this.
Now your food is really interesting because on the one hand, it's very global. You're inspired by a lot of ingredients from all over the world, but particularly the Eastern Mediterranean. But meanwhile, it's exceedingly local. You couldn't get much more local than actually living across the street from the farm that the ingredients are coming from.
I mean, I think I am a stickler for ingredients. I really love cooking vegetables. You know, one of the things that was really important to me when we opened Oleana a while ago was to expand people's perspective or understanding of what Mediterranean food was. Really, it's where East meets West, or Eastern ingredients meet Western technique. And then I'm just gonna put equal parts into a bowl. I'm gonna lightly salt, and this is what's gonna draw out the moisture. Mix it around and let it sit for maybe 5 minutes or so until it starts to leach a little bit of its liquid.
Okay.
We're gonna make a quick little maple labneh.
So we do that now?
Yeah, so labneh is a really thick yogurt. We're so thick that you can stand a spoon up almost in it. It's basically yogurt that's been strained of all of its water. We're gonna add a little bit of salt, some maple syrup, and some chilies. These are my favorite red chilies. These are marash pepper. They're from Turkey, and they're a really sweet, sort of oily, vegetal flavored chili. So this just basically is a spin on some sour cream, but it's got sort of the sweetness of maple.
I have to say, I make latkes every year, and I love the traditional like homemade applesauce and sour cream, but I don't know, this year we might be mixing it up after seeing this. So this has been sitting now, the veggie mix, for a few minutes.
Yep.
Does it look like it's ready for the next step?
Yeah, it does actually. It's not so dry and fluffy anymore. It's definitely starting to get a little dense and wet, so the water's coming out of it. So then I was just gonna add some flour to it. So basically I'm just looking for it to kind of come together when I press on it.
So you've got a little bit of starch and a little bit of gluten that are interacting to kind of hold the thing together?
Exactly, so I can kind of tell just by pressing that that's gonna stay together.
Okay.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna squeeze, and you can see all the starch coming out too, which is great.
All right, so it's frying time, the most fun time of all.
But I like to use like a lid or something to help me sort of shape these into some fat patties. Now watch, it's not gonna come out, and it does, good. Phew. Sometimes I have to oil it, sometimes I don't. That's the kind of noise that you're looking for.
And how long do they cook?
Probably like 6 minutes per side. You just kind of watch the edges, and we're gonna get some nice golden color after about 4 minutes, and then we'll turn it and do the other side.
Okay. Looking really, really pretty.
Aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way the top has just that gorgeous kind of raised brown swirl.
Yeah, they're kind of like giant hash browns. And I'm just gonna season these lightly a little bit with salt and let the other side get a little crispier. But that's basically it, and we serve them with the labneh.
This looks great. I can't wait to eat it. Should we plate this up here or do it at the table?
Let's do it at the table.
All right, let's go feast. So how has your relationship and work and doing the work you do changed the way each of you does your jobs?
It's basically taught me seasonality. I mean, I think, and I still continue to learn every year. I mean, learning about the nuances of garlic or the different kinds of turnips, which ones grow really well in New England, which ones are harder. The crops that thrive, the bumper crops, how to use them in different ways. And being able to be flexible. You know, these days you pick up the phone or you go to the store and everything's available. You can buy strawberries right now if you want. And I think when you're dealing with things that are local and from your farm, you've got what you've got, and you're really understanding too what the risks are. Like if it is bad weather, what happens? You know, it makes me appreciate flavor and vegetables a lot more than I ever would have imagined.
As someone who eats at your restaurants, I just really appreciate the way I can see this fusion between New England ingredients like maple syrup and fenugreek, which actually are very complementary, but that kind of particular cuisine only exists here because it's these ingredients and your imagination and your knowledge of farming all comes together right here on the plate. I think the term farm to table gets a little overused, but in this case, it's truly farm to table, and I think with you being a farmer and you being a chef, this is just a real marriage on the plate, and it's delicious and wonderful. So thank you for letting me come and see how you do what you do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Amy.